Welcome to Revival Time Hub. The fire shall ever be burning upon the altar. It shall never go out.
Spirits don't travel with planes. Spirits travel when words are spoken. And so men must understand that every word they speak mobilizes spirits. Your words are spiritual locomotive agencies for spirits. And so a man will not have the activity of spirits around him unless he speaks. And so if you want to see the Spirit of God at work in your life, then you need to know how to talk the Spirit of God to work. If you want to see demons at work in your life, which nobody wants, but that's what they do, is to talk things that transport demonic spirits. Because whether you like it or not, so long as you begin to speak, spirit begins to travel. In Ezekiel chapter 2 verse 1 and 2, the prophet stood before the glory of God. He saw the brightness, he saw the excellency, he saw the splendor. In fact, he saw the cherubims. The excellency of what he saw was so much that he fainted. But with all of the activities that were happening, the Spirit of God didn't move. So you can come under a very intense atmosphere, the Spirit will not move. You can see the glory of God and faint under the power, the Spirit didn't move. The man was on the floor as a dead man after having seen the glory of God. And suddenly, he said in verse 1, he said, and he said unto me, Son of man, stand upon thy feet, and I will speak unto thee. And the next thing we heard was, he said, and the Spirit entered into me when he spake unto me. The moment words are spoken, spirits travel. What I'm saying here, spirits are moving. You may not feel it. After 2 hours or an hour plus, you will suddenly notice that the energy will change. Because the activity of spirits will become intense. As you keep speaking, they keep moving. As you keep speaking, they keep moving. In fact, if you study John chapter 11, when Jesus was invited to Lazarus' tomb, Lazarus was tied, bound, and kept in the tomb. And Jesus was there, nothing happened. Jesus wept, nothing happened. Imagine God crying. After God cried, nothing happened. And that weeping was not a joke. He wept bitterly, nothing happened. So you can cry over your situation as much as you want, nothing will happen. Even if God joins you in crying, nothing will happen. Because God joined Martha and cried, nothing happened. But when the Spirit of life was to be mobilized, Jesus showed up and said, Lazarus, come forth. Immediately, spirits moved. And the man was carried from where he was kept, and he stood at the door. So, what mobilizes spirits are words. So the words we speak every day is mobilizations for spirits. In John 6:63, he said it is the spirit that quickens. He said the flesh profited nothing. But how do you activate the quickening spirit? He said the way to activate the quickening spirit is by talking. Because the quickening spirit can be there, but he will not quicken. So he said the words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. So the way I mobilize the quickening spirit is by talking. But you talk from morning till night and you are not conscious that spirit moved. That's why you have not tapped into the mystery of spoken words. You think spoken words are for communication. And so you talk for a whole week. All you are doing is communication. A man who has entered the reality of the mystery of spoken words, he knows his words are a gift. That's why sometimes he will look at you, he will not say anything. You can talk, he will just nod. He knows if he talks to you, you are blessed. You will think it's pride, but he knows something. Have you not seen somebody shared a testimony? He took a huge sum of money. A huge sum of money to go and see one of the fathers of faith. He came in from another country. He waited from morning to evening only for them to tell him, sorry, you can't see God's servant today. And the truth is, God's servant was busy. Because since he came and sat outside, God's servant was in the office. And so when they were closing the office and asked everybody to leave and come tomorrow, he had to return to his country. Frustrated, he was just walking away. And to his dismay, not up to 5 minutes, God's servant was driving past. And he wind down. My son! The guy turned. What is the challenge? He knelt down and said, I came from Sierra Leone. My ministry, I've been struggling. Nothing is working. I make flyers every week. Nobody comes. I do publicity and radio jingle. Nobody comes. I go live on the internet. Nobody's watching. And after putting all the labor of fasting and prayer, I come to church, talk to myself and my wife. I'm tired. And God's servant looked at him. Go forward. That's all. Go forward. That's all. The man returned to his country the next Sunday. In fact, he came back Saturday night, so there was no time for mobilization. And when he entered church on Sunday, as opening prayer was going on, all the seats in front were filled. He now knelt down and began to ask God to help him. He has been shouting there since. But a man who has a mystery spoke. Without flyers, without radio jingle. How did the people come? What brought them? What happened there? What brought them? When he said go forward, all the spirits that are responsible for publicity went to work. That's when he discovered the remobilization. It's not flyers that do it. They are angels. Go forward. And without mobilization, all packed. And that's how ministry began to move from glory to glory. I heard another story of WF Kumuyi. They brought a madman bound in chains. And when he's thrown out, he looked at the people. The madman was all over the place. He said, leave him. So the pastors thought he was talking to them. They now say, he is violent. If we leave him, he just smiled. When the pastor saw that he smiled, they now left him. When they left him, they discovered the demons already heard and left. So when they say leave him, the demons obeyed first before the pastors came into understanding. But how do these people become so powerful? They know the power of war, so they don't throw their words around. They know when they speak, things happen. When they speak, people are blessed. When they speak, spirits obey. Because it is a mystery in the spirit. Men who struggle, they don't know that wars mobilize spirits. That's why they talk anyhow. The moment you come into this understanding, your wars become few. Because you know your wars mobilize spirit. And you want to be careful the spirit you are mobilizing. That's the first mystery of spoken words. There are persons that have mobilized spirits against their own progress by the things they said. Nothing is working. And the spirit that is responsible for making things not to work, say, thank you for the permission. I will go to work now. And the spirit goes to full-time job and nothing ever works. And they don't know what is going on. It doesn't matter whether you know it or not. This is a reality in the spirit. Number 2, wars transmit life and death. I showed you already. In John 6:63, it said the words I speak, they are not communicative emphasis or realities. It said they are spirit and they are life. That means when you want to increase the quality of your life or the life of somebody, speak it. So life is encapsulated in words. So also is death encapsulated. And so if they ask you, where does life dwell? Life dwells in words. That's why in John chapter 1, it said that word was made flesh. No, it said in the beginning was the word was with God, and the word was God. It said the same was with God in the beginning. All things were made by him. Without him was not anything made that was made. It said in him, in the word, it said was life. That means the capsule of life is words. So also the capsule of death is words. So every time men speak, they either release death or they release life. In Proverbs chapter 18 verse 21, the Bible made a very striking statement. It said life and death are not in the tongue. They are in the power of the tongue. The power of the tongue is spoken words. And so a man can choose to eat life. He can choose to eat death. So every time you speak life, you are actually feeding on life. And every time you speak death, you are actually speaking on death. So the second mystery of spoken words is the fact that life and death are encapsulated in words. It's only men that think words are for communication. Spirits know better. You can kill yourself by talking. You can kill your child by talking. You can kill the economy by talking. And so when men begin to understand the secret of power by words, they become careful what they say. Because when they speak death or they speak life. It's their choice. In Matthew chapter 8 verse 16 and 17, hear what happened here. It said, when the evening was come, it said they brought unto him many that were possessed with devils, and he cast the spirit out with his words and healed them. So you see that he applied these two principles here. Number one, he mobilized the demons out of the people by speaking. And number two, he injected healing and life into the people by speaking. And so Jesus knew that when he spoke, he communicated to spirits to mobilize them. And when he did, he also injected life into them. That's why you'll find a man who is truly spiritual never says idle things.
Thanks for watching Revival Time Hub. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself, and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was.